Hey everybody, it's Just Ask Thursdays, the question and answer period that you can have with me every Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, wherever that might be. I take my laptop with you and I make sure that I'm available to you to give you actionable answers to your dating questions. As I had mentioned in last week's broadcast, I am currently in the Okanagan Valley hosting a series of dinners and bringing love to the table with my company, The Dinner Party. If you're not familiar with The Dinner Party, it is a startup that I just launched this last year. It is my way of creating a shift and change in the dating service industry, bringing more humanity to dating, if you will. And the Just Ask Thursdays is an extension of that mission, helping people connect more authentically and navigating their way through whether you be meeting someone in person or online or utilizing new apps like Tinder or perhaps even meeting at one of my dinners. So this week I wanted to bring the focus back to a couple of points that came out in this last week, not only for myself. I am back in the dating game. I launched my own online profile in the last 2 weeks, and it's been an interesting foray back into the dating realm, which I feel just gives me more tools in order to help you better as I have my own experiences as well. And I wrote about one of them on my dating intelligence blog. So I do have a website, jointhedinnerparty.com, where you can get lots of other dating intelligence and tidbits on there. And if you subscribe free every week, you get dating intelligence about just about anything that runs the gamut. It might be something that's come up for one of my clients or something I've experienced myself. So in this last week with being back online, as we all know, you have to be very clear in what your intentions are when you are online, not only in your mind, but also on your profile in order to attract what it is that you're wanting. But regardless, sometimes you're going to get some characters that without any encouragement or invitation from you are going to share their feelings on maybe something you've written, a picture that you've posted, or they just want to share and ramble with you as it is. This is the problem with online dating. People aren't always utilizing it as a tool to connect with others, but is sometimes out of boredom, sometimes as an ego feed, and those two being the most destructive. So my experience was having a gentleman who felt the need to share his opinion on my appearance. And I think, you know, most importantly, when you get into the dating game, you really have to have a good relationship first and foremost with yourself. And we're all unique creatures. We're all different and unique in our own ways. And that's what makes us so bloody special. So with that in mind, you need to own and love who it is that you are. So when this guy came out of left field with no introduction and no relationship with building with me at all, with no communication with me before this one zinger of an email came through, he just felt the need to attempt to make me feel bad about the way that I look. So I responded in, of course, defense of myself. I did it in the most witty and funny way that I could, and was feeling pretty good about it when I first sent sort of the reply back, which he wasn't too thrilled about. But what I realized upon reflection, because I shared this all through social media, encouraging people to not be shamed or feel bad if people have an opinion that isn't always positive about you. And in order to be successful in dating, you need to be vulnerable and expose those things and own your own light. And I did that, but I took it one step further, which upon reflection, I realized maybe wasn't honoring myself in the best way possible. So I shamed him back. He shamed me and I shamed him back. And two wrongs do not make a right, as we all know. And in doing that, I undermined and undervalued myself and him. Most people, when they're being unkind or coming from a place of negativity, It's just a complete reflection of their feelings about themselves. So when I had a moment to kind of think about it and thought, there's something about my reply that doesn't sit well with me, it's realizing that he's probably a very unhappy individual as he is, and maybe operating from a place of pain that he hasn't worked through or dealt with on his own, which you really should do before you are trying to invite other people into your life. And all I did was throw more fuel on that fire by being shameful back, when all I had to do was defend myself, own my own power, and then forgive him for the slight and rock on. And so now I'm doing that now and operating from a place of compassion, which I preach, but you always have to make sure you're practicing what you're preaching. So it was a great lesson for me and a wake-up call to be more aware and pay closer attention and not just go on the defense when you may experience any negativity while you're dating. So that's my number one thing that I wanted to share this week. I was eager to talk about it tonight because I think a lot of the time we can get operating from a defensive place if someone has said something negative to us, and that's a slippery slope to slide down. And I think a lot of the time it's what breeds a high level of cynicism, especially in the online dating world. So if someone feels the need to voice an opinion that you didn't ask for, or they say something negative, by all means, you can, with a high level of grace, defend yourself, but avoid the desire to shame or be negative back, because it serves no purpose. Actually operating from a high level of compassion and kindness is actually going to create more opportunity for them to do their own self-reflection and maybe realize what it is that they've spewed on you, and maybe do a little thinking themselves and avoid it, doing it to people in the future. I'm sounding a little nasally. I'm sorry, guys. I've been really sick this week, so I'll do my best to sound more Eartha Kitt than nasally librarian. So I've had a question come in this week with regards to how to optimize their profile. Specifically, they weren't getting a lot of action on their profile this week, or sorry, since being online. And I'm going to say this in hopes that it's not taken the wrong way. You are, for all intents and purposes, really selling yourself when you're online. You're putting yourself out there and showcasing yourself in the best way possible in order to pique people's interests. And then once you start communicating with them, winning them over with your charm. And really just being yourself, and that's what wins them over. So when you're not getting a lot of traction online, my number one piece of advice for you is kind of step back and think about looking at your profile as if it wasn't you and it was someone that you were looking at possibly dating yourself. So putting yourself in the datee's position, or in sales, it would be the consumer's position. So when you're looking at your pictures, you want to look at them from a standpoint of, is that someone that I want to get to know? Do what you're looking for in another person, are they well-groomed? Are they doing things that are reflective of what their interests are? Do they look like a positive, happy person in their profile pictures? Do they look like someone that would be interesting to engage with? Are they doing things that pique your interest in that, or you would want to learn more about? So pictures are a huge thing. A lot of people, because we're moving so quickly these days, and that's why apps like Tinder have been created, that we aren't even reading the guts of the profile, which is really where all the juicy bits are, which is in the written. So you got to grab their attention with the profile first. You want a really striking headshot with a dazzling smile, speaking through your eyes if you can. It all sounds very intense, but if you're haphazardly putting pictures up there, you're going to run the risk of there being crickets, or potentially putting up pictures that aren't really reflective of you and attracting the wrong kind of person. So pictures are huge. So great headshot, smiling, a couple of action shots, some social shots with other people, to show your circle of friends and you out having a good time are all great ways to do that. If you can do something with you wearing something more casual, do a full body shot so people can see what you look like. Do not be wearing sunglasses every picture, maybe one, but not every picture. Do not be wearing a hat in every picture. Do not be cutting out your ex's head in a picture. And please avoid putting pictures of you and your children. They're not online dating, and it's a privacy thing. Let someone get to know you first before they get to know what your kids look like, especially if they're really little kids. And that's not hiding anything. That's just for the privacy of children, because I'm sure your ex, who you have the children with, would be thrilled that your children were on an online dating site. Show you doing something that you enjoy, absolutely, but avoid all those other things. Looking angry, you with a shotgun, the tiger and fishing photos, gentlemen, I don't know why there's so many. If you love to fish, that's great. Maybe showing you fishing as opposed to having a bloody fish in your hand. That might thrill the guys, but it does not thrill the girls, I'll tell you that right now, even the ones that fish. And hunting shots of dead animals and all those things, completely avoid them altogether. If you're snowmobiling or horseback riding or jumping out of a plane or whatever thrilling sport it is that you do, make sure that we can see that it's you and not a stock photo, because they really want to get to know the full context of who you are. I know selfies are a normal thing these days. If you're going to do them, try to do them in the most natural way. There's no need to take your photo in your bathroom mirror anymore. And if you are taking a photo and it's just you and you don't have someone to take a photo of you, please be aware of what's behind you. Really key. I've seen the weirdest things in the background. So it's not just your face, it's everything that's around you, and that gives people context as to who you are. So keep all of that in mind. Next is going through and being very specific about the questions that they ask you on online dating sites. I know with POF, they're asking you specifically, do you have children? Do you own a car? Where do you live? Do you want to get married? Do you want more children? Putting answers like prefer not to answer or not putting authentic information in there is just going to have people clicking through your profile. The more that you can be full exposure with current photos and correct information, if you still want kids, put you still want kids. If you don't want children, put you don't want children. If you have children, say that you have children. These are not things that people should be learning about 2-3 dates in, because the assumption is that you don't when you're not putting that information in there, or they won't even engage you because you're not being authentic and honest in your replies. So just go for it. You are who you are. You're living the life you are wanting to live because it suits you, and you want someone that comes in and complements that. So fibbing or not giving full disclosure at the beginning is just going to cause issues right from the get-go. So it's best to operate from a foundation of trust. Now, your profile content. Oh my goodness, so important. I've seen everything in there, from people ranting about previous interactions online dating. I'm back at it again. If you look like this or look like this or look like this, don't contact me. Or no princesses, please. Or guys with mommy issues, don't bother. Keep the negativity out of your profile. Would you be putting those things on your resume when applying for a job? Obviously not. And finding someone to spend your life with, in my opinion, is that much more important. So really make sure that you're keeping it positive and light. You're getting a nice structured outline that's clear and concise about who you are and then what you're looking for. Bring your personality into it. Have some fun. Sense of humor goes a long, long way. That's what's going to grab someone's attention. If there's little nuances to you that are unique to you, share those, because that gives people great content to grab onto in order to first engage and send you an email. And but avoid the whole negativity thing completely. Just avoid it. Don't do it. It makes nix. Not attractive. Just go right over to the next profile, and then you may have missed out on a wonderful opportunity. And if there's stuff that's bogging you down with your online dating, go off for a while. Sort through that stuff. Speak to a counselor, speak to a friend, speak to your mom or your dad, and get that stuff out of your system so it's not negatively affecting you as you are moving forward and engaging with new people, because that has nothing to do with them. It has to do with who you were with last. So sort that stuff out. And then at the bottom, a lot of the time they'll ask for you to specify and put restrictions on who can contact you and who cannot. I've had many a woman get frustrated with the age range of a certain gentleman that might be reaching out to them. If you don't want someone within that, outside of that age range, then be specific and put those parameters on your profile. Gentlemen, same thing. If you're wanting a distance restrictions and you're not into long distance relationships, put the restrictions on it. You can really streamline your profile these days, especially with how online dating is you know, excelling with the parameters and the things that they offer on their sites. So you can really streamline your search. Online dating can be a lot of work if you're really willy-nilly on there, but if you get specific and clear with your profile and the restrictions in which people can contact you, you can make online dating way more fun and enjoyable for yourself. I myself have that you can't reach out to me and send me a message unless it's 50 or more characters. So this avoids the, hey, hi, how are you doing? I want an interactive, intellectual conversation, someone I know that has taken the time to read my profile and is showing a genuine interest in who I am and wanting to connect. That takes 50 or more characters. Yes, out on the street, we can start a conversation with, hi, but via email, typically you're reaching out to someone because there's something that you want to share or say. So ensure that you're putting those parameters on, and when you're messaging someone, I'm going to dig into that right now. So I hope once you've gone through this little video, you're going to go in and be fully prepared for engaging with others. I'm getting a warning message on my sign, you guys, so if I disappear on you, I'll put up some details on the website after. Hey everybody, I lost you there for a minute. So just to wrap up what I was saying is give you some rules of engagement on how to be successful with communication with online dating. I just outlined everything that you should be doing in order to be successful with your profile. So my person that wrote in voicing some frustration about not getting a lot of action online, I hope some of those things that I outlined for you were helpful. So just to quickly reiterate, being very specific and honest in your initial write-up, having a catchy username is always helpful too, with a little bit of sense of humor, can pique someone's interest. Being really honest in your answers. If you have kids, say you have kids. If you want kids or don't want kids, be specific, answer those questions, because then you're going to attract the people that you want to have a relationship with. Have a car, don't have a car, have a job, don't have a job, all those things. Be very specific in there. And then in your profile write-up, be witty and funny, bring your personality into it, outline exactly who it is that you are and what's important to you, and then what you're looking for in someone else. Avoid negativity entirely. Be an upbeat, positive person. Outline the activities that you enjoy doing and being honest in those. Putting what you do, not things that make you think make you sound good. Things that actually you're doing and enjoying and that you would want to do with someone else. I guess honesty is like what runs through the answer to all of these things, but also bringing your personality forth. Don't keep it too dry and short and sweet, because that's just not going to resonate with people. Personality coming through and a sense of humor is always best. And then using the parameters within each online dating site that is being very specific about what it is that you're wanting to engage with. So a lot of them now you can restrict what age group, how long an email is, what area that they're writing you from can all be restrictions, so that you're getting very specific and narrowed down to what it is that you're wanting for. Not unlike a job search, as unsexy as that sounds. Now, to wrap things up for you this week, rules of engagement with regards to contacting each other. You know, there's favorites, there's winks, and everything else. That's all very nice and flattering, but that's not really engaging with someone. I mean, when you're winking in a bar, you have body language and everything else and a bit of eye play to work off of. When you're doing it on an online dating site, you have none of that. So other than accumulating winks and feeling like you're a rock star, it really doesn't accomplish much of anything. I can understand using the favorites button in case you don't have the time or the wherewithal or the wit at that moment to send that other person an email, and you want to save them so you don't lose them in the database because they're constantly giving you a barrage of new people all the time. Fine, but then go back, review who your favorites are, and grow a pair and contact them. Now, rules of engagement. No hays, no highs, no how are you doings. Not I liked your profile. Nothing that looks like it could be replicated or copy and pasted. You want to take the time to look at the pictures, absorb who this human being is that you're possibly interested in contacting, read their profile, find out through their profile what they've shared and what they're passionate about, what their interests are, any funny little things that they put in your profile, which, as I said earlier, is a great thing to do to give people a means of engaging with you, and then use that information to engage with others. People have tons of emails coming through, specifically women in general. They're getting a lot of excuse me, emails, and you want yours to stand out. So hey and hi is not going to cut it. I know you heard me voice my opinion on this before, and I'm going to do it again. You want an email that brings in something that you have seen or caught your interest in their profile. Plain and simple. It's going to set you apart from the rest. Now, if the person has loved what you've written and they're engaging back and the reply resonates with you, you want to do your best to either get notifications or be on there specific times of day in order to keep that repartee going back and forward. If they're doing it while they're on there and you see that they're online, then get a little bit of witty banter back and forward. Do not, I repeat, do not go MIA. If for some reason life calls and you need to leave your time that you're interacting with this person, please tell them. Sign off and let them know, when you'll be getting in touch with them again. Don't just stop communication and then disappear from the face of the earth only to reply a week later. That is not how you make a positive impression on someone else. If you have been pinging back and forth for a fair bit and you feel comfortable and you're enjoying the person's interaction with you, then be brave enough to offer to exchange telephone numbers and take it to the next level to talking on the phone. I always encourage everyone to do this fairly early on. Voice is a huge thing. You don't have a great deal of time to sort of think about what your witty answer is going to be. You got to be a little bit more quick on your feet, and it's a really good reflection of who that person is on the other end of the line. Gentlemen, women fall in love with their ears, so if you've got that great voice and you're funny as all hell, the sooner you can get them on the phone, the better. Couple of phone conversations back and forth, and then you should be getting on your first date within the first week. No messing around, no pen pals, no weeks on end, pinging back and forth or playing, flaky or ring around the rosy or whatever the hell you want to call it. Just get on the phone, see if there's a click, meet in person, size each other up, and then go out on that date. Okay? So that's where I'm going to wrap it up for this week. I know I lost you there, briefly. Hopefully that wasn't too long. And if you've got any other questions or you like the video, make sure that you're subscribing. And if you have further questions, get them in to me at info@jointhedinnerparty.com. You can always tweet at me live during the show every Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at Join the DP. And you can find out all the exciting action and get other dating inspiration throughout the week by liking the Dinner Party Vancouver Facebook page, or subscribing to the weekly dating intelligence on jointhedinnerparty.com, enrolling for free and getting it. Juicy dating tidbits arriving in your inbox every Thursday morning. My name is Andrea Hill. I am the Chief Dating Operator at jointhedinnerparty.com. I'm here every Thursday for you to answer your dating questions with actionable answers. I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. In the meantime, date healthy and have fun.